My biggest dream for this year was to attend my very first Formula One race live, and I did it. I went to Bahrain in April and it was a dream come true. It was an impeccable race, so much action, so much going on, so many overtakes. I am beyond happy. But little did I know that 6 months later, I'm going to be invited to a Formula One race by the organizers to my second Grand Prix this year, and hopefully third, fourth, and I mean, the goal is to visit all of them. But today I'm going to tell you everything about the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And also, if you're going to a very first Formula One race elsewhere, this is also going to be helpful. And this is If I Meet F1, I'm Maya, and I make people fall in love with motorsports. Lights out. So this video is going to be divided into several sections. I'm going to talk about the tickets, the Grand Prix schedule, food and drinks, accommodation, logistics and transportation. And you also asked me some additional questions on Instagram and I'm going to answer them as well. By the way, follow my Instagram, I post mainly there. We're also going to talk about Baku and how much I fell in love with the city, landmarks, stuff to do, best restaurants, my personal recommendations. Yes, we're also going to talk about where you could possibly meet the drivers, take selfies with them, but let's dive into this. So we're going to start with the tickets. Now, Baku used to be one of the most affordable races, but this year the prices went up like 20% or something. And I think it is connected with the fact that Baku is a city circuit and it's very convenient to go for a race in a city circuit because you're basically living near the circuit and near all the actions that is happening. You can live in a hotel and book a room that is literally 5 minutes away from your grandstand, and this is incredibly convenient. Now, this is not specific to Baku, but every F1 race, please plan your travel in advance, meaning buy the tickets in advance as well, as much as you can. The reason is simple, the prices are growing, they're not becoming cheaper. So, according to my research, the tickets for Baku have started to go on sale in January this year. So many of the people that I know, F1 fans, have booked their tickets already in January, and the tickets back then, the cheapest ones were starting from $270. When I was looking up and thinking that maybe I should go to Baku, it was like in August because I went to Formula 4 and I really missed racing and I missed Formula 1, and I was like, Baku for me is a 3 hours flight. I don't need a visa, so it was very convenient, but the tickets were sold out. The only one left were the most expensive ones. They are $1,220 or something. Spoiler, I got them for free as a complimentary ticket, as an invitation, which I'm very grateful about. Which grandstand is the best in my opinion? Well, of course, if your budget allows, please consider buying the tickets for the Apcheron. I talked in details about Apcheron in my Instagram reel, so I'll link it down below, but you can see the start, you see the finish, you see the pre-race preparation. The drivers are going to be standing next to you for the national anthem. Carlos Sainz could be staring at you if you're lucky. It all went viral how George and Lando were laughing at this guy, at this little boy who was singing the national anthem very passionately. I saw how Lewis pulled out his phone out of nowhere and started filming everything, and Charles was sitting next to him. He was also laughing. So, I mean, you can see something like that only at the main grandstand, okay? Or if you're having a VIP ticket and you're also on the grid while the national anthem is happening, but this is our next step, okay? This is our next goal. So, but the other grandstands are also very amazing, and I'm gonna show you from the videos of the people that I know who visited the race. And by the way, I got so many DMs telling me, Maya, I'm watching the race right now, I'm watching the quali, the practice, and hoping you will show up on my TV. No, you guys, this was not the case. When I was in Bahrain, the only fans that were shown were sitting in the main grandstand. I was at one of the cheapest, it was the university grandstand. Amazing, by the way, amazing turns, but I think I talked about Bahrain in my very first vlog. And this time when we went to the main grandstand, I was thinking like, this is a chance to show up on the race broadcast, to get my very first, I don't know, to show up on the TV and so on and so forth. No, the fans that were sitting on the other grandstands were shown multiple times, and I was very happy for them. Also the people from paddock. So, and this is another tip, please, if you're going to the race, prepare posters. Think about your outfits in advance, okay? This cute couple who prepared like a koala hats or something were shown several times, and it was insanely cute. I think the guy next to me was sitting with a poster with Carlos. Oh, there was a caption with a meme. Can we get a P3, yeah?
Good luck today. I want to see P3, huh?
So sad that I didn't take a picture of that because guess what? Carlos eventually got a P3 and I think he showed up during the practice or something, so no one saw Carlos qualifying in the top 3 coming. This is who you should show as well because like this guy would have, I don't know, he would have made it to Williams Racing Instagram or something and eventually Carlos would see it as well, but yeah. Something like that. Be as creative as you can. I'm sure you saw these videos where the fans are walking around the fan zone and for example, as someone from the Mercedes crew comes up and says, we see that you're very passionate about our team. Maybe you want to get a paddock tour or something or VIP pass for free, and stuff like this happens. Yeah, this is something to have fun with. Please do. And now let's discuss the race weekend schedule because it's pretty packed and spoiler, you're gonna be pretty exhausted at the end of the racing weekend. But this is a pleasant exhaustion, okay? You're gonna be happy. Consider taking a day off from your work or studies after you come back because this is everything, like the emotions, they are draining in a good way where you're gonna be constantly walking. Well, this is also about the outfits, okay? Dress comfy, but we're gonna talk about that later as well. So if you're going to the Baku for the race or in any race that is held in the city, please come in advance, like a day or 2 before the race, because this is an incredible opportunity to walk around the town, to walk around the track, maybe see the mechanics and the teams, which we did, meet the drivers, or if you're working out, if you're running, try running around the track. This is just awesome because all the mechanics are also running around the track and as well as the drivers. We were just walking around, we saw the big F1 logo and I saw that this is actually the paddock entrance when the Ferrari mechanics were leaving. I saw the F1 teams going one by one, like we saw Red Bull mechanics and I was like, oh my god, look at them, these are the Red Bull mechanics. We just saw Red Bull's crew and Mercedes crew and there they're coming. Little did I know that I'm gonna see the Red Bull team member to this guy. Then Williams guys were leaving, then Mercedes. I said hello to one of them. He was very enthusiastic. I posted on my Instagram that I was chatting with them. No, I just said hello. That was enough for me, okay? That was a chat. So they're going from there. Let's go there. And we stumble upon the... Oh my god, there is a little cat. I don't know. I'm telling about paddock. Oh, paddock cat. Oh my god, that's a little sign or something. A sign of what? Everything is lately a sign. The paddock cat, yeah, so we stumble upon paddock. No one is stopping us. There is security and we're going further and further. We're going upstairs and no one cares. And we're like, well then let's go and see how the paddock looks like. We saw the balcony where the people are standing looking down to the boxes. We saw the garages there and we saw the mechanics running. So let me explain the situation. There are the boxes. There are the guys working out. I think these are mechanics. I'm not sure if these are drivers, but there you go. They're just working out. This is the situation right now. So this is the paddock club. They're setting up. And here's me. You can see the F1 logo literally everywhere. This is the grandstand, the main one where we were invited. And this is the Zach Hoyer, the new official sponsor who's replacing. Yeah, there you go. That's hot. Okay. It's literally a dream and I was like, this is the next goal. It's gonna happen, blah, blah, blah. I think on the same day, we were passing by Hilton. Apparently fans are aware that the drivers are staying in Hilton, Marriott Hotel, 4 Seasons I think, and because Lando is in McLaren and Oscar as well, the Hilton is official sponsor of McLaren. Charles, Lando, Oscar were staying in Hilton and we're passing by and several fans are standing there, like not a crowd, but several fans are standing there. And there's Hilton and I think there is just an what's the word? Gathering of fans standing there, or am I tripping? And I'm like, let's come up and talk to them. And it was so nice talking to them because I am a rookie to this, okay? I've expressed my opinion on stalking the drivers. I'm not a big fan of this, okay? I personally respect the drivers' privacy. Whenever there is an opportunity just to casually maybe meet them, I'm pro this, okay? That's a nice opportunity to get something signed, to see them in real life, to see that they're real actually. To me sometimes I feel like unreal people because what they do on the track, what they do for a living is just completely bonkers. So I don't recommend unstalking the drivers. They are tired, especially when something bad happens. When Oscar hit the wall during the race, this famous pictures when he was walking through the streets of Baku, leaving, and fans were taking pictures with him. He looked frustrated, okay? The guy is in the fight for the championship, his first championship. I would have not done it, okay? I'm not judging anyone, but I'm just personally saying, I was like, well, Max won, maybe he's going to be in a good mood, and that's what happened as well. So Max qualified P1, and this is the day when I met him. It was in front of the Marriott Hotel. For me, standing in lines with the fans and possibly waiting for the driver to come up was a great opportunity just to chat with people all around the world going to Baku for the race. There were many British people, and they were saying that it took me 3 flights here, but I'm finally here and I'm very excited, and this is what I'm here for. I want to listen to all of these stories. The guys next to me, they were like 13, 14 years old. They had a poster of Baku and so many signatures, and me and my dad chatted to them like, how did you get it? And they were like, we're standing there since 6 a.m. Yesterday we were sitting here since 6 a.m. in the morning for 3 hours. Esteban signed it, Oscar signed it, Yuki signed it, and I was like, this is nice, this is the dedication. If you're that dedicated, there is a high chance that you're gonna get stuff signed. I was not, okay? I was also tired, my dad was tired, so my curiosity was why we stayed at the Hilton for several minutes. Oh, I said I'm a fan of Charles, so maybe perhaps it would be good to meet him. So she's like, oh, he actually already arrived in Hilton. He stayed there like a couple of hours ago. I just found out that Charles has arrived already and he lives in Hilton, and the girl had an opportunity to take a picture with him and to sign. He signed her flag. She had a Ferrari flag. I wish I had taken a picture of that, but she left already. But she had a flag. She edited like with Leo in the center, Ferrari flag with Leo in the center, and he signed it. Yeah, the security. One thing you have to know about Charles, he's very nice. The security called it off, like, you know, go, please leave, and he still said, you know, these are my fans, these are tifosi, I should sign it. So the fact that Charles Marc, what's his full name? Charles Marc Hervé Percival Leclerc lives here somewhere in in this room is a little bit, you know, freaking me out, because I mean, there's an elevator going up. Maybe that's Charles Leclerc, I don't know, but there's a line of fans. They're very nice. I think they're waiting for Lando or Oscar because they haven't arrived yet, and people are saying that Lando usually stays here. When we went back to our hotel, this evening, I saw the pictures and the videos like 3 hours later that Pierre arrived also in this hotel. I think Lando arrived. If you're actually willing to meet someone, Hilton, Marriott, and Four Seasons. So we personally came, when I say we, I refer to my dad, because I got complimentary tickets and I got a +1, and I was asked, are you traveling alone? And I've said, I will be taking my dad, because my dad has been a motorsports fan since forever, and he's taken me to my very first F1 race that was in Bahrain. I've mentioned that several times. No, not Bahrain, to Valencia. I was 4 years old, right? So my very first race was in Valencia. I was 4 years old. Couldn't care less what is going on there because I didn't know what F1 is. All I cared about is leaving because it was incredibly loud. I wasn't a fan of the drivers back then. I was a fan of Pussycat Dolls, and Nicole and Lewis were going out back then. So I was like, where is she? I need to see her because her songs were my lullabies. That's weird. My dad made my dream come true to come to the race now when I'm the huge enthusiast. We went to Bahrain, and 6 months later I'm like, we're going to a race again, and this is going to be a special one because this was his first pit lane walk. On Thursday, the doors to the fan zone are finally opening. So the plan for Thursday was a pit lane walk and walk around the fan zone, maybe buy some merch. And actually there are plenty of activities to do while you're waiting for the pit lane walk. We had ours at 4 o'clock, I think. Before that, we went and took part in the pit stop challenge. Now there are also huge lines. I think we waited for an hour or two, but it's worth it. I mean, it was very fun.
2, go.
my advice is to do this kind of stuff on Thursday, because on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this weekend, and it's gonna be packed with actions, with races, because not only F1 is racing, F2 is racing, F3 is racing, somewhere else the F1 Academy is racing, right? So if you're willing to stand in the lines, sometimes it can be actually fun. So chat with people, chat with fans. You guys are all here for your similar interests, for all one similar interest that you have, your passion for racing. But we're constantly talking with people like, who's your favorite driver, like what's your favorite era of F1, and people were like, I'm watching F1 since the Brown GP team I was rooting for them, and I was like, oh, these are the actual fans. I'm finally somewhere where I belong. Just find positivity out of everything. This is because I'm leading to the pit lane walk. Now, so many questions about the pit lane walk, guys, on my Instagram, because I've posted pictures where I met Liam, where I met Lewis. I didn't take a picture with him because he was a bit farther for me, but like 2 meters or something, actually. Pit lane walk is not for the privileged, at least during some races. Now, I think I was mistaken when I thought that pit lane walks happens every race, it is included in the tickets. Actually, no, just because when I went to Bahrain, it was also included in the tickets, but we arrived on Friday, and it usually happens on Thursday, so we didn't get to do this. But this was also one of my biggest dreams, to do the pit lane walk, as well as my dad. This was his very first pit lane walk. He's been watching F1 since 2000s. He's never done it. When we were doing that, he told me, Maya, I thought that's for the privileged, and it actually is. If you're a paddock holder, you can do a pit lane walk during the race day, you can walk around the garages. If you're a fan, you're just standing behind not a fence, but what is this? A little fence. So pit lane walk can be actually just included in your tickets when you're buying them for the Grand Prix. So when purchasing the tickets, make sure the pit lane walk is included. According to ChatGPT, it happens for Silverstone. I think Mexican Grand Prix also is going to have this option. United States, Austrian Grand Prix had this. Well, such events as Monaco, I think such races as Monaco don't have such option. Just email the circuit, the organizers of the Grand Prix that you're going to. Is the pit lane walk included? Another advice is to go and stand in the line, again, yes, lines, for the pit lane walk in advance. Now, how it was for us. The pit lane walk happened at 4 o'clock. We came to stand in the line, I think at 4:30 or something, and there was already a huge line. It's been an hour. More than an hour. We were standing there for 2.5 hours, I think. Exhausted, my back hurt, my dad's back hurt, because you are going to be there for an hour, and I had this fear, what if they don't let us in or something? What if there are too many people? But I had this faith, like, no matter what is happening, you're gonna make it, because I really wanted to do this. What is a pit lane walk? So they let you in and you're able to walk through the garages. You can meet the drivers because it's Thursday and they're gonna be repairing, they're gonna be, testing. This is an incredible opportunity to see the F1 doing their pit stops, because they're rehearsing, they're practicing their pit stops. We saw Aston Martin, Mercedes several times doing their pit stops, the teams stretching, doing their fun activities, like the Ferrari, they were doing stretching for actually not messing up a pit stop. The only team that was not present was McLaren. None of them were there. Not the mechanics, not the drivers. No one was there, actually. Just when I walked in, I saw Esteban, and then Liam appeared. He was on the bike. They're all on the bikes. Liam, that's Liam. Liam! Me and Liam Lawson. There you go. And then he went behind the fence and started signing stuff, starting taking pictures. And this is when my dream came true. I had a picture with an F1 driver. Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Visa Cash. What a nice team. Dream of working there one day. The second driver who we saw was Yuki. At first I saw Jos Verstappen, Max's father.
Sorry, there is
was like, that means Max is here. But the people who were standing right in front of Max's garage actually saw him. I didn't, because the crowd is pretty tense. I mean, everyone is not pushing, people are very respectful, but there were many people, okay? We saw Yuki, and then of course there were so many fans in front of the Ferrari's garage. I had the funniest fans standing right next to me, straight out of the Leclerc meme. And we were waiting for Charles, and guess who comes out? The 7 times world champion Lewis Hamilton came out. The crowd went crazy. He didn't come up to us. He was very close, but didn't make it to us. But yeah, still, it was very nice. And then Charles came out, but we didn't get to see this because you have to be respectful, and the volunteers are actually encouraging you to please move. There are other people who also want to see something, and people just stand there and they're not moving, they're just not listening, and I was feeling very bad. We came on Wednesday, and this was actually an amazing opportunity to get to know the city. Because we booked everything last minute, the first hotel that we booked was a 15-minute walk to the metro station and then 3 stops on the metro. So it took approximately 20 minutes to get to the track, and at first we were very confused with the metro, but actually it's very easy. It turned out to be very easy. And another tip is, please seek for help, ask advice, ask strangers, because people in Azerbaijan, in Baku, are very friendly and helpful. I think I've broken my mic. So the citizens of Baku are very friendly and nice and helpful. Every time we were asking, is this one the red line? Is this one the green line? And they were like, yes, absolutely, where do you need to go? And also they're volunteers in the metro as well, not only at the racing track. We're going to talk about volunteers later because they're also the nicest people on earth. So this was Thursday, an incredible opportunity to meet the drivers. And another opportunity is fan forum. This happens usually on Friday morning as well as Saturday morning. So how it happens, usually all the teams, all the drivers, sometimes there are 2 of them or they're paired with another team, so there are 4 of them on the stage. They come out and they ask the questions for 10 minutes for each team, and there is an opportunity also to ask a question, to show your poster, an original and creative one for the driver, for your favorite driver to see it, maybe to react or make it to the Instagram dump for a certain team. This happens as well. On Friday, we were very late because we were actually tired and we wanted to sleep in a little bit. So we went and we saw only the last 2 teams. There were Sauber and Aston Martin, and I saw Fernando for the first time, one of my favorite drivers. Of course, Gabi, Nico, Lance. Another interesting thing is that the drivers sign the hats and then throw into the crowd. So this is also your chance to get a hat. A guy next to me caught the cap from Haas. I think Esteban was signing them. Not every driver signs, and also there are cards, so the drivers sign the cards. And make sure, at least try to stand in the first row. In order to do that, you need to wake up very early and go, and again, what to do? Right, stand in the line at the entry so that you enter and you run. That's what we did. So you run to take your place in the first row, or at least closer to the stage. This way you could be seen, you could be noticed, you could see the drivers pretty well, and also you can get a card because the host eventually comes close to you and gives you the cards that are signed by the drivers. Fan forums are very fun and the drivers are very sleepy and you can see them. So please check the schedule for the race, for the Grand Prix that you're going to, and there should be a precise schedule of which team, when they're coming to see your faps. My priority was Saturday morning because we went to see Ferrari and Red Bull. I also wanted to see McLaren, Oscar and Lando, but that was on Friday and we missed it. I had my Ferrari hat, my Red Bull hat, and I was switching it like this Japanese man in the meme. So on Friday, there are also usually the practices. We've seen the 2 of them. And don't miss out on seeing the Formula 2 races because they're also packed with action. They're very interesting. I'm rooting for Marty right now. Beganovic is also very good. So they're usually sprint races, qualifying in F2. So please go and see. Don't sleep on F2. It's very cool. Saturday is for qualifying, of course, and Sunday is the race day. So actually, they're drivers' parades. This time we didn't have a drivers' parade. It was a drivers' interviews. They were standing somewhere out there I could see them like this little figures. I don't see the points in these interviews, to be honest, because they're all answering and they're all saying the same things. They all were asked just about how difficult it is to drive in such conditions because it was extremely windy, and everyone is saying the same thing, like, yes, it's very difficult, but we're gonna try to do the best that we can to bring the points to finish on the podium. Now let's talk about food and drinks. So I think you know that everything is pretty pricey on the track. You can get Red Bull, you can get beer. I think the prices are very similar to the Grand Prix that I have visited, which is Bahrain and Baku. I visit only two, so I can compare between them. The difference is, in Bahrain, you can't eat anywhere else because, oh, by the way, you can't bring your own drinks and food to the Grand Prix because the security will take it away. So you can only eat and drink at the track, so you can't bring a cup like that, actually. They're gonna take it away. Please do. But you can bring an empty bottle for the water because they're usually water refiller stations. It's very convenient and you can drink whenever you want. So in Bahrain, because it's not a city circuit, it's the only option to eat at the track. In Baku, the situation is much better because there is actually a shopping mall near the fan zone. So when there were breaks in between the sessions and it was pretty chilly, we were going to the shopping mall. It just takes, I think, 5-minute walk from our grandstand. Of course, for every grandstand is specific, but we were going there and there were actually so many fans there waiting in lines to get McDonald's, and there was a free Wi-Fi. There is no Wi-Fi at the track, so you can get a Wi-Fi, you can eat at the mall, you can go shopping. I got a coat for myself there, so, and it's very convenient. It's amazing. Thank you, Baku, for that. Now basically we were eating in our hotel most of the time, but sometimes we were going out and eating in the restaurants, and my personal recommendation is Borani restaurant. The prices are very nice, the stuff is incredible, and also, yeah, the food is tasty. This is what matters. You need to try out plov, lula kebab in Baku because it's nice, because it's Baku. Yeah, these are my recommendations. Regarding the accommodation, we booked two. The first one was far from the track, so I'm not going to recommend it. I'm going to talk about the Royal Antique Hotel that we booked that was right in the old town, and it was a 5-minute walk to the grandstand Philharmonia. Yeah, if you're buying the tickets to the Philharmonia grandstand, consider this hotel. It's actually right in front of the Four Seasons, the hotel where the most of the drivers also stay in. I think Lewis stayed there. I'm not aware. I'm telling what I've heard from other people who actually know where the drivers are staying. This is where do they get that information? A nice hotel. Everything takes like 5 minutes to the embankment. You're living in this old town streets and the architecture is just mesmerizing. I loved Baku. I fell in love with it. So, and this hotel, the staff is also very friendly. The food is tasty. We had the nicest breakfast with the nicest view, and there were parrots in a cage singing during the sunny mornings. So, I want to relive it. Hi! How are ya? These are pretty. You can check this hotel out as well. Oh, the concerts! It's what also really matters. This year, Baku organized a concert of Martin Garrix, the Dutch DJ, the DJ that I was listening to when I was a little girl. It was included in the tickets. We went to Martin Garrix's concert, and another dream came true, visiting a famous artist concert, because it was like, I think it was my first one. I mean, Peggy Goo in Bahrain, but we stayed for one song because it was really difficult to get back to the hotel. Peggy Goo, I'm not really a big listener of her, but Martin Garrix, knowing that he's best buddy with Max, with Lendo, and he eventually was waving the checkered flag at the end of the race for his best friend, and also standing there on the grid. So I saw him. Then he was driving around Baku with Max, the winner of the Grand Prix, and it was such a spectacular experience. Please, Martin Garrix is a must visit. There was also a DJ Anima. I hope I'm not butchering the name. I'm not aware who that is. We didn't go to that concert, but I heard and I saw the videos that it was also pretty spectacular. I mean, the visuals. There was also a band, Glass Animals, before Martin came out, and I knew one song when I googled who they are, Accommodation, I think, band, and Heat Waves, the viral song, and they sang it at the end. Artists usually do sing at the end their most famous songs. Usually the concerts are happening at the Crystal Hall, and the road there was unexpected. We went there by taxi. For the taxi you can download these apps, and we went by taxi. It was actually a very reasonable price. I think it was around 7 Azerbaijani manats. Very cheap for the road that we were in. I mean, there was traffic. It was pretty far away from our hotel, the first one. But the taxi driver took us to a certain point, and then he said, "You're free to go." And the walk there, it took, I don't know, approximately 25 minutes. We were meeting fans on our way, and we were like, "Are you going to this Crystal Hall?" They were like, "Yeah." It was freezing, it was raining, but I couldn't care less because I was so excited that I'm going to Martin Garrix's concert. The race is tomorrow, that feeling, that adrenaline. I didn't care about the weather conditions. I didn't care about the fact that you have to walk there a lot. If you're not whiny, if you don't complain, if you prioritize memories over comfort, it's gonna be also fine by you. So there's actually a shuttle that takes you from the track to the Crystal Hall. We didn't take it because we wanted to go to our hotel and change and then go by taxi, not to use shuttle. But we did use shuttle to go back. So we left the concert earlier because we were scared that maybe there are gonna be too many people or something, and we were already pretty tired. So the concert ended, I think, at 12:30. We left at 11:30 or something, and thank God we did, because when I came home I couldn't feel my legs. I was so tired. I was waiting for this certain song. It was In the Name of Love by BB Rexa. I think that's my favorite song by Martin Garrix, and I didn't hear it because we left the concert earlier, and I'm not aware if he sang it or not. I mean, if he played it or not. I'm pretty sure he did, but I didn't see any videos of that. I'm actually gaslighting myself into thinking that the song was not played, so I didn't miss anything. And eventually I won because the song was played at the Grand Prix before the race. So yeah. You can also ask the volunteers, where does the shuttle take you, from which point and where, and when does it leave. So it leaves actually from the Maiden Tower to the Crystal Hall at a certain time, and then it took us back. The volunteers were saying they had signs with arrows, and they were like, "This way to the shuttles," and it was organized perfectly actually. So we sat in a comfy and warm bus, and we went to the metro station, and we went home, and it was organized amazingly. We were very surprised. And a bonus, if you're using the shuttle, you're going to be driving around the track. I mean, you're going to be driving in the track, okay? So the race is tomorrow, and you're like, "Huh, so now I can imagine that I'm an F1 driver for a minute for this drive." The track is 6 kilometers long, so you can feel what it's like to drive around here. So we were like sitting there with my dad and thinking, "Oh, that's someone turn. Oh my god, oh, this is tricky. Oh, here you can actually overtake." It's worth it. Please visit concerts. I think I would have visited the Anima concert as well if my dad would be up for it, because even if you don't know the artist, the concerts are still a big vibe. Maybe you discover something new for yourself. I think the fans were also, and the volunteers, singing in the halls, singing to Max Verstappen and stuff. So go there for the vibe. Last year I think it was Will Smith, but this year the concerts were incredible. Qatar is bringing Seal. I think they haven't announced all the artists, but I know that Seal is gonna perform. Abu Dhabi, as I think, is the winner in terms of the concerts, because Katy Perry is gonna be there, Post Malone, Metallica, hello, Calvin Harris. So trying to make it to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but if you're going, this is an insane lineup. So regarding the transportation and logistics, you can use metro in Baku as well as taxi. For the concerts, it could be shuttles, but it's very convenient if you just book a hotel in front, if I don't know, like close to the track. But do this in advance because the prices go very up closer to the Grand Prix. Of course, it's gonna simplify the Grand Prix and the experience like 1,000 times. But for the low budget, just consider taking the metro. The Sahil station is when you walk away and you see the track already. An interesting thing about the metro in Baku that we didn't know and took the wrong train once. One train actually switches between the lines. So if you see on the sign that this one is going for the red line, this one is going for the red line, and it switches and then the green line. So you don't switch sides, one goes to both. So take that into consideration because we didn't know that. What to see in Baku after the race, landmarks and stuff? Please stay in Baku at least for 1 or 2 days after the Grand Prix. This way you can explore and discover city thoroughly, just like we did. You can walk around the track if you didn't do this in the first days before the Grand Prix. You can shop, you can eat, you can get to know the culture. And if you're living in the old town, this is a landmark itself already. But my other recommendation is to visit a resort, Sea Breeze. This is a beautiful resort with the Caspian Sea. You just can go there by taxi. It's 30 kilometers away from Old Town, so you just can chill there, sunbathe if the weather allows. You can visit cafes, and there is a Star Alley. And I saw Nicole Scherzinger, just like I told you, my childhood idol, Daniel Craig, Will Smith, because he came last year for the Grand Prix, also One Republic, CC Cage, Tyga, and many other celebrities. So it's worth to go there and to relax after a packed race weekend. You can actually book a room there and stay there for 2 days or 3 days, just like a small city. But we went there just for 1 day, just to chill there, just to breathe there. Okay, the smell of the sea is very strong, and it's very therapeutic. I always sleep when we are on the beach because the sound of the waves just calms me down. It's a must just to go and enjoy the sea during the September. Something very nice to do all the time. And now you asked me some questions on Instagram and I'm gonna answer some of them. The first one is, where did you get that cream pink RedBull cap? I couldn't find it anywhere. So it was actually very random. I didn't plan to make any purchases because everything is pretty pricey. I mean, the official F1 merch is pretty pricey. The advice that I hear pretty often is to buy the stuff from the official website, not during the Grand Prix. But it's just a different kind of experience during the Grand Prix to buy yourself a souvenir, a very nice souvenir that holds all the memories. I support Red Bull as well. I got myself a cap. Oh, Dad got me a cap. Look at this. This is so stylish. In Bahrain, I bought myself a livery. It's like a hanger. Do you call it like that? And I lost it, unfortunately. I felt very sad about it, so my dad bought me this Red Bull hat because my Ferrari hat is actually not mine, it's his, okay? And it doesn't fit me pretty well, so he's like, you need to have your own cap. Let's get you a Red Bull one because you're a Max Verstappen girl lately. Yeah, I was supporting Max this weekend because my fasts were not performing very well. I don't think this is some kind of a limited edition. I've never seen it though. I don't know. I just saw it and I thought, I'm not a big cap girly because not everything suits me. But I thought that this kind of cap can match my outfits pretty well and can fit in my wardrobe pretty well. And the other day for the practice day, I think. No, for the quali day, because it was very chilly. I was wearing a pink and white outfit and I had this cap. So it was very cute outfit. Didn't take any pictures though, because it was windy and I was wearing my Ferrari blazer all the time. So there are stores with official F1 merch during the Grand Prix there in the fan zone, and the prices vary. We also got a Ferrari hat. This is Lewis's hat, 44. This one we got for my dad's friend who is also an F1 fan, and this one was more expensive. It was 150 Azerbaijani manats. But another tip, if you didn't get an opportunity to get yourself a merch during the Grand Prix weekend, there are actually some stores after the race ends. So like on Sunday the race ended, on Monday we went for a walk and there were stores, I think with unofficial merch, some were with official merch, and the prices are pretty similar, but if you want to, you can get yourself a merch there or as a souvenir, as a present for someone. But on Tuesday they already disappear from the main square, so pay attention. Tell me about an unforgettable moment. Oh my goodness, actually the whole weekend and the fact that I've gotten this opportunity was itself unforgettable. But I'm gonna say the pre-race preparation was such a unique experience. Sky Sports journalist walking there, I actually made a video what is happening before the F1 race. I saw the drivers walking around the grid, the cars being prepared, the tires, the drivers standing very close to me. This was something pretty special and I teared up a bit during that moment People were asking me, how don't you cry? And I was like, I don't know. But during that moment, I did tear up because the music was amazing. The DJ was incredible. Martin Garrix was standing next to him, and the guy started playing his songs and he was smiling. And I was like, no way this is happening. No way all of these people that I admire are standing right there. Another dream, another goal is to have a great access for the next race and to experience that even closer. I was thinking constantly, this is the parties that are like, these are the clubs that are like house music blasting, drivers walking around, the $1 million, $1 billion industry, the technological marvel, everything there, the sound of the cars, of the engines, the smell of the brake discs, everything. You have to experience it one day. So this was the kind of a I made it moment, but it's not the end yet. Can you tell the average price of F1 ticket or how much did it cost you? So answering how much did it cost me, only accommodation and tickets and the spendings there, like the food, because I was invited to the race. Again, repeating that and telling you about that, very grateful. Yeah, but this was for my content creation duties. Can you say that? Well, actually, the price for F1 races vary depending on a race. The most expensive ones are Las Vegas, Monaco, I think. The cheapest ones are China, Bahrain actually used to be Baku. Now Baku is pretty expensive. But I think if you want to get good tickets, the most common price is like $400. You can get these. You can get these for the grandstands. There's also such option as general admission. This is when you don't have a specific seat in your ticket. You just can enter, you just can have fun, sit on the grass, just like Charles was sitting in Zandvoort when he crashed. What am I smiling? Nothing funny about that. For my very first Grand Prix in Bahrain, I was saving up like crazy. It's a nice story. I think I'm going to tell it to you one day if you want to, but I was refusing to buy anything. I was not drinking coffee in coffee houses. I was saving up for the tickets, and eventually I saved up. How did you feel about the Quali as a Ferrari fan? You guys were used to that, okay? I don't know. I was shocked definitely when Lewis didn't make it to Q3. Oh my god, yeah, to Q3. And when Charles crashed the car, of course I was shocked. I actually, you had to see my reaction. I mean, it's a shame the director of the broadcast didn't show me, because when Charles crashed, I screamed so loud. Everyone looked at me at the grandstand like, girl, is he your relative or something? But I was so shocked. I was so disappointed. And my dad was also like, okay, come on, you have to calm down. I felt sad, but at the end of the day, I'm Max's fan. So when he got a pole, actually it was a bit relieving. Well, you guys, the sun is setting already and we made it. I mean, I made it. I made the video. I hope it was helpful. I hope it covered some of your questions. And my general advice for those who are going to the Grand Prix for the first time, because I've had DMs asking me, what is your general advice? Like, what are the tips that you want to give? Dress comfy, because if it's too hot like Monza or something, or Bahrain, you're gonna be there for a long time. So save the nice outfits for the paddock, okay? I know you can make it. Remember that they have air conditioners there. At the grandstands, there is no such thing. There are no heaters if it's cold. There is no AC if it's hot. So wear sneakers. Dresses are optional because it could be very, very windy, so it's gonna be uncomfortable for you. Wear hats, wear sunscreen if it's very sunny, bring some kind of a warm clothes if it's gonna be unexpectedly windy, just like it was in Baku. You're actually not allowed to take umbrellas, so make sure you have raincoats, make sure you follow the schedule, make sure you know when is the certain race or quali or practice is going to happen, because if you're gonna miss out on this opportunity, it's gonna be a little bit sad, okay? Now I want to thank Baku City Circuit organizers who invited me. I am very grateful for this opportunity and an amazing experience. These were genuinely one of the best days in my life, and I'm gonna work even harder to make all of my dreams come true. Bring power banks, bring your charges, because you're gonna be using your phone a lot. Clear up your storage. This was my problem most of the time, but just enjoy it, okay? Relax, enjoy it. The preparation can be stressful, But at the end of the day, think about the fact that it's a very dreamy experience. So just enjoy it, connect with people. These are the people who share the same passion as you do. And please just soak it all in. This is the life moment, to be honest. That was all. If you have any other questions left, please let me know on my Instagram, TikTok, on my comments. Follow my socials. Thank you so much for the attention. I love you all. Remember that dreams come true. If you put in the work, if you continue doing what you love, this just does miracles. Okay? It was me, Maya, and I'll see you where the speed is.